I've been working this great shift, and I ain't paid.
Me too.
I wish I could buy me a spaceship and fly.
Hey, Young America! So glad that you're able to join me this Monday. It's very nice weather here in DC, and spring is in full effect, and I hope the same is there for you out there. My name is Jasmine Jones, and I'm here to present to you the weekly address to young Americans. I know that the setting looks a little different. I just moved into my new place, so I'm feeling all kinds of lucky. Yes, and you guys are lucky because now you no longer have to hear that annoying fire alarm. So that's a win for us all. But, you know, something else will probably sneak up on us, but for now we'll just celebrate and enjoy it. So yes, so today's topic is kind of funny. Like we said, we always like to try and make it as funny as possible. And it is about those of us who are in transition. So if you are thinking about quitting your job or leaving school, you know, what we want to do today is talk about 7 tips to help you not become Kanye crazy. Okay, if you're quitting your job or quitting school. And this is not to pick on Kanye. I know Kanye is a great artist, but he's being used as a metaphor because, you know, clearly we see, you know, he's going through some things and he's probably in a transition as well. So we can understand what Kanye is going through. So I just want to set a preface for today and just explain that, you know, being young people, we are often faced with having to make some big decisions in our lives. You know, a lot of us have felt in some jobs we just feel incomplete, and then some of us have been in school and we were just not engaged, or our grades just were no good, and those things did affect us. Like, they brought stress upon our lives, they could hurt our self-esteem, and a lot more. And so when we get to those places, we do begin to think of ideas on how we can keep ourselves afloat if we quit this situation, right? Well, what ends up happening sometimes is we miss some steps, right? And we end up coming up with crazy ideas, which are fine, you know, but crazy ideas like, I'm going to come up with a cell phone that floats on water, I'm going to go on QVC, I'm going to couch surf in Europe to discover myself. And these ideas are all fine and dandy. However, sometimes you really do have to really put thought into things before you quit, because it can have a greater impact on your life down the road if you don't, okay? And for those of us who are quitting school for, you know, the opportunities of doing a better idea, and you think about people like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, who all quit school, one thing to really think about with them, you know, before you go into this whole thing, is that they didn't just quit. Okay, they didn't do that. They had kind of a proof of concept, which means that they had some kind of proof that their idea would actually work. There was some true traction behind it that was substantial, you know, and then they quit. So pretty much the point is they had a plan. And that's the biggest thing that everybody has to have, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, you know, for all of us who want to go out there, do our own thing, get started and plunge into life, I definitely want us to do some real thought behind that next step. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's dive in. All right, and so step number 1, of course, is for everybody, which is you need to have a plan A and a plan B. Okay, you got to have both. And what I mean by that is your plan A is your ideal plan. Okay, that's for everything that in these next 3 to 6 months you know or you feel in your heart will happen. Okay, then you need your plan B. Your plan B should be called if ish gets real. Okay, so if things get real, this is what plan B looks like. Okay, and you need to have both because things happen. Okay, and it doesn't mean that your big idea won't happen in your plan A, but if it doesn't, then you have a plan B to keep you afloat, and you know you have direction and you're not lost because you planned it out. And this plan needs to be for about 3 to 6 months, and it has to be that far planned out or you're not ready to quit whatever it is, because time is going to fly, and if you don't have a plan for it, you'll lose that time. Okay? Okay, so the second thing that a lot of people try and skip, which is probably, you know, not the best thing, and that is you have to tell your parents and or your loved ones. Okay, and the reason why you need to tell them is because they may need, you know, as you're trying to execute your plan, you know, things come up and you may need intervention to happen. You may need someone to step in, you know, to help you out for a little period of time because it just didn't go as planned, okay? But by informing them, you're helping yourself and you're helping them, whether they support your decision or not. You know, it's definitely giving them a heads up because they love you and they want to support you and they don't want to see you do bad, even if you take risk on your own life, okay? So, you know, definitely give them a heads up when you're making this big transition because they need to be aware just in case they need to step in to help, which is fine. people who love you will help you. Okay? All right. So tip number 3 is figure out your money. All right, so this is like the big ding, 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 right? So money is going to play a huge role in all of this. And the reason why is because if you're quitting your job or college now and you're already kind of broke, when you quit, you are even broker because you no longer are having income unless you saved, and then that's great. But this is for those of us who maybe have not saved yet, because we aren't in the position to do it and we're not happy in the position that we're in at work. So if you have to figure out your next step, you have to think about the money factor, okay? And how I want you to think about it is that you need to make your plan A and your plan B based on the money that you are bringing in right now. So if that number is 0, then your plan needs to be based off 0 income. So that means you probably have to move in with your parents, or you probably have to move in with a friend for a month. Like, that's 0 income based, okay? But then you still have to buy groceries and items like that, but your costs are minimal. If you're bringing in less than $200 a month, then you have to make your plan based off that. What I'm trying to prevent you from doing is making any plan based off potential income. Do not do that. Do not do that. Okay? And the reason why is because I've seen it 1,000 times in my own life where I'll expect money to come that next month and it doesn't show up for the next 3 or 4 months. And that's just not, it puts you in a highly stressful position. And the other thing is that it's just one of those things where you do have to really be thoughtful because other people's money will have to step in if you're not thoughtful, okay? Because things still goes on, life still goes on. You still have to eat, get around, clothe yourself, items like that. So figure out your money. All right, so step number 4 is very important for if you're quitting jobs or your college is to network. All right, so I know a lot of people are like, networking, that's so annoying and hodgepodge. No, what I mean by network is if you know that you are specifically quitting and you're trying to figure out your next step, or you already know what your next step is, you're just trying to go forward, you're going to need to talk to people within that field, okay? Talk to them, learn about what they're doing, get familiar and close with them, because if you don't network, then nobody can tell you about the opportunities out there. Nobody can share with you about anything, and we're all here to help each other. We naturally do it when we can. So imagine if you're talking to someone and you tell them that I just quit college, but I'm ready to go and start my photography company. If you're talking to a photographer, 9 times out of 10, they'll tell you people to talk to. So make sure you network. The 5th one is something that's a little left field that nobody's going to really think of, but it's very important while you have this free time. And that is you need to refine your resume. Okay, so while you have this free time, you need to really dig into it, do some soul searching, and really sculpt out your resume, because a lot of people don't have that time, to really put into it. Also, when opportunity does come, you can drop your resume like a drop of a hat. So make sure you refine your resume while you're out of work or of school. Okay. 2 more. So the second to last one is something that I think is important for all young people to do, regardless if you're in the state or not, and that is to read and stay up to date on current news in your industry. Okay, so if you know for a fact that you are interested in going into photography, we'll stick with that theme, then you need to be up to date on all the things that are coming out, the new technology, new ways of thinking on photography. Because when you get that opportunity to go and talk to a professional, you will sound completely impressive if you know a lot about your industry and you're able to speak about what you learned while you're out. And you're probably going to show them that you've been very engaged. So, whether you're in this lull period or not. So read and stay up to date on the news. And the last fact is to have fun. Free fun. Okay, but have fun, because this will probably be your last time. So, when it's time to get back into the groove of things, you're not going to get to take a 12 p.m. long walk to really think about stuff, right? Like, no, it's over. So you need to use this time to really enjoy yourself, do some things, go to some free events around the city. But the big thing, the reason why you want to do this is because through your transition, there are going to be some hard times. Okay? There will be some very hard times that you are going to have to overcome. And so when you have a bucket list of things you've been looking forward to that are affordable and free, this is kind of a stress reducer in a way, and this is how you can entertain yourself while you're trying to figure things out, but I would definitely say have that fun now, because when you get back into the work field, it's just harder to do it, okay? So I'm hopeful that today's tips will keep you from being Kanye crazy But, you know, definitely I want to give a shout out to a few more people on Facebook that wrote me back when I asked them about things. It was Jaron Jones, who gave some good tips about making sure you collect as many LinkedIn contacts before you leave college and your workforce, as well as taking advantage of a lot of the benefits that are given to you. At college, that would be like talking to a college counselor and making sure that they tell you about a lot of stuff for people who graduated, so you can think about that. And for, if you're working, talking to your HR department about ways to close out, get the most out of your benefits and items like that, okay? I also want to give a shout out to Jamila Thompson, who said, resign professionally, okay? Do not write an email that says, I quit, period, and then don't show up for the rest of the year, okay? Resign professionally and give your company the proper respect if you are going to be bowing out. And the last person is Alexis Brightman, who wrote about making sure that you I think I already said it today, but that you get out there and you, dang, I'm trying to remember it, but I can't really remember it. But she did give a great comment, so I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry, Alexis. But, you know, definitely all three of them gave some very thoughtful ideas, and definitely would love for many of you guys to share if you have more thoughts. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
So I quit, y'all welcome. Y'all don't know my struggle. Y'all can't match my hustle. You can't catch my hustle. You can't fathom my love.